Oh, best beloveds, greetings one, greetings all. Now begins another chapter in my story of my coma and getting out of my coma. Hopefully soon I'll be out of it and I can start my road to recovery for everybody. But, okay, when I last left everything, the gang of, employees in the boat plane hospital hybrid were leaderless now because the leader was banished from the section he was at, which was basically around me, and also his protege was arrested or put in jail. We don't know for sure. Anyway, so they're being really passive aggressive towards me and picking on me when I couldn't move or anything out of the way. And my dad was not around as often because of everything he was doing. So, anyway, as I'm recovering, there came another party involved in this. Because the husband who owned the boat plane hospital hybrid thingy, whatever you want to call it, and his wife saw me becoming a liability because they were trying to advertise that they could do all this stuff on their boat plane hybrid. And unfortunately, here I am, caused by their cause, I was injured. So they couldn't show anything up without showing me on inadvertently. So they had tried to figure a way that would not look like how they were trying to get rid of me, but move me off the boat. Okay. And what they had to do was they officially had to be against what they were doing to me, but they could support it under the guise of it. So what happened was that the caretaker, he would sneak into my section and find ways to get me attack me mentally and stuff. And one of the things he did ultimately was he tied me into the bed to move me out of there. And of course, the owner had to say, "Oh, we can't allow that," but really he wanted him to. So that's what's happening. They were trying to think of ways to, what they were going to ultimately plan on doing was the owner and his wife had another plane hospital hybrid they were building in California. They were going to transfer me down to there. Would be still they would take care of me, but nobody would be able to look after me until for a year or so afterwards. They thought it was a perfect solution. They just needed the boat plane to be built a little more before they could do it. So they had to bide their time. Now, as this was going on, the employees and the caretaker were mentally messing with me. And soon there became another person involved because the one person that I met when I was there in the beginning, she turned out to be the proteges of the guy, the caretaker's protege's girlfriend. And so she had something to prove, but she also knew me well enough to know that I didn't do it, and I didn't do it, but the stuff they're saying I did was. So, but what she had done while she was there was she studied hard and went out of her way and got a nursing degree. Okay, so she was no longer just an employee, she was a nurse. And she was taking care of everything. And the employees were looking towards her to do something. So she really passive aggressive. She attacked me, but not really, because she knew that I didn't do anything, but she had to put up a front. So she would come after me like she was mad or something, but she really wasn't. So she was in charge of the employees, and she was trying to take care of me, but also at the same time make me look like I was being punished by her. Of course, the caretaker didn't pay attention to that. He was trying to get me by himself, so he was doing that, and the owner was basically allowing them to do this to me because they were trying to break me. Okay, so now we come to the second part of why I got rid of a lot of my collection, because in this thing, what they had to do is they had to get me out of the hospital or out of the bed a little bit, portable out, because they had to work on where I was staying. Okay, and they were trying to think of what way to do it. And one of the employees who was there said, "Hey, I can take care of him at my place. Me and my wife can." So they said, "Okay, fine." And it turned out he was a collector, and he also, him and his wife collected almost phonetically a bunch of the wrapping drawings and stuff. And he wanted somebody to show him to. So it ended up me, because I couldn't go anywhere. So I was there, and him and his wife were showing all the wrapping drawings that they had. And I was thinking, like, my God, what is going on with these people? Why are they so obsessed? And I'm like, oh my God, I mean myself. So anyway, so at the end of the day, I came back to hospital boat, and I was there, and I've had enough. So I tried to get in touch with my dad. I know he was going to be there, but it turned out what happened was I lost track of time and didn't realize that I had been there for so long that my dad had gone to Ashland, Oregon, as usual. That's where I usually went. So they were trying to find my dad there. They found a person there that had the same name as him who was there, but he was also one of the employees that was against me. So they used him to get at me, because it was like I didn't know what was going on. So I'm trying to tell my mom, who came and visited me in the hospital thing, please take me out of this. Please take me out. I'm not sure what I did, but please take it out, because, well, I'm not describing it too well because everything. It left me very scared to be there. So here I am. It's about mid-June, and I'm being harassed by them. I'm being harassed by the my former caretaker, and I'm being passive aggressively taken care of by the girlfriend of the protege, who was also the employee who helped me when I first got there. Okay, so anyway, we cut for a day or two, and I'm lying in bed, of course, because I can't do anything else. Nobody's helping me and stuff, and there's a nurse there, our doctor there, and she's like saying all this stuff that has to be done and stuff, not really helping anything. But she was really didn't like, she saw what was going on with me and the employees, and she wanted to do something. Of course, the owner and his wife didn't care because, of course, they wanted him to do that. They wanted them to do that. And so she was going to complain about it. Well, in my dream, what happened was at night, I heard her scream, and I heard a bottle being broken. And it sounded like the employees were going against her and getting her. So at the time, I grabbed my phone, which was I had, and I called 911, and then I folded the phone up, so they had to come out because nobody answered the 911 call, except they had to check on him because I thought that's what you had to do. So I put the phone down in my pocket, and I called my mom to tell me there to come get me. But she said, we're in Seattle right now. We can't. Okay. So what happened was I painstakingly got out of the bed. I was able to finally get out of the bed and get out of the hospital bed, our hospital boat. And what happened was I met my mom. I went from Portland. I took not plane, the train from Portland to Seattle because I knew the people there and they knew me. Okay, so while the police were at the hospital boat checking upon the people and seeing what was going on, and I was able to get out of the chaos. I went home. I went to the station, the King Street station in Seattle. Here I am in a hospital nightgown and stuff, and my mom comes and gets me. She got me in. Here's the weird part. She got me in because I was still big. I thought I was still big. So she got me in the van from my work at Amtrak in the white courier van. She got me in the back of the van and started to take me down to her house. Okay. And then what happened was I was in the back of the van and everything was looking good and stuff. All of a sudden I woke up again in the facility where I was in the Boat Plane Hospital. And it was 10 years had supposedly passed. And it was the apocalypse that happened. But I was still in the Boat Plane Hospital. And the nurse girl, the fiance of the protege, she was taking care of me because even though everything was run down and crappy, she saw me as a friend and as who could help her. So she was taking care of me even though I was still injured. And I wanted out and I couldn't get out. But the thing is at that moment I realized in my head, finally everything came through to me that I was in a dream. I needed to get out. So, I mean, because I could see everybody next to me or at the facility next to me and stuff. And what happened then is I finally woke up from my coma. Okay? I finally realized I was dreaming. Now, what had happened is first nobody could talk. I mean, I got greeted with a lot of love and stuff when I woke up because I was like, the first thing I was able to ask when I couldn't speak still because of the trach, but I was able to trace letters on the thing, and it said with my left hand. Of course, not the prettiest, but hey, I was a right hand and I could move it. But I did the thing like, hey, why am I in Portland still? And my mom told me, Mike, you're not in Portland. You're in Capitol Hill. I said, oh, what? And then I asked about the date. Turns out what happened was I was not as far gone as I thought. That doesn't sound right, but I didn't think it wasn't as far as a day away as I thought it was. So what happened was simple. I thought it was almost July. No, I was about a month or so off because it was the beginning of May when I woke up finally. So I've been several months in a coma, and that's when I was told about that. And also because of the fact I couldn't have any liquid because of my throat, I had to get used to at least at first. I was trying. My mouth felt really dry, and so they used sponge with water in my mouth, and I thought they had wired my jaw shut because it hurt, but it turns out they didn't. But anyway, that's how I finally realized it was the beginning of May in Seattle, Capitol Hill, when I woke up. And of course, I couldn't speak because my throat was opened up and stuff because of the trach. So it's like from there, and it's interesting what happened to me. Okay, so I'm gonna get more into it after this chapter. I'm going to talk about my recovery started in Kindred. That's where I was, in Kindred Hospital in May. And then I'll talk about what happened, because when I woke up finally, other than I could move my arm a little bit, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't move my right arm, my right leg and stuff. And then I'll talk about that stuff, okay? Anyway, I've talked long enough. My throat kind of hurts. That's a side effect of the trach. Yeah, that's something I'm going to talk about too. Anyway, you all take her easy and have a good day. And I hope that we're finally done with the coma. I can I can tell you about my recovery and everything, okay? You all take care. Bye now.